Hey everybody, welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider, your only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports. I'm Sports Director Brandon Bosser.
Self-assured sports anchor Devin J. Martin, welcome into the show. We got a lot to talk about, especially what's going on next weekend. Usually we talk about what's happening this past weekend,
right.
But Brandon, something big is happening next weekend that we have to talk about it right now.
That's right. It is the Governor's Challenge is what we're going to be discussing tonight, all night long, basically. We've got 119 teams that are going to be coming down here to Princess Anne, to Salisbury, also to Delmarva Christian as well. It's going to be a fantastic tournament. 5 days coming up next week. So Christmas just keeps on coming once again this year.
The whole week is basically Christmas Day if you're a basketball lover.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about some of the best players nationally who are going to be coming down here to Salisbury. We're going to be talking about the best players here locally that are going to be participating in the tournament, the 41st Annual Governor's Challenge, the nation's largest holiday basketball tournament in the country.
Yeah, Brandon. I mean, 2 years ago, personally, I was so excited to come work here at 47 ABC because my first day was going to be at the Governor's Challenge, but COVID-19 ruined it.
Well, that was 2 years ago, and now we've got a whole slew of basketball games coming up.
Absolutely, and then last year's challenge just couldn't come fast enough, and it was a really great experience. And I think this year is going to be back bigger than ever.
Yeah, that's what we're expecting. So, over 100 teams, all-star events, and the duck contest, 4 different venues, so much more to talk about, so let's get right into it. Many of our local teams taking part with the Shore Showcase, highlighting the Delaware and Maryland basketball rivalries here on Delmarva. Now, the game to watch for me coming up is Sussex Central and Cambridge South Dorchester, a real Delaware-Maryland duel here. Both of these teams solid with good guard play in David Maker, along with LaShawn Moody. We've also got great big men in Clarence McBride Allen.
They match up pretty well.
Along with Kobe Enels. So this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. So we'll see what happens with Central trying to hand Cambridge their first loss of the season. And then also don't sleep on these two matchups. We've got Sally's, the defending champions, taking on Bennett. And we've also got a couple other games that you're going to talk about now.
Absolutely, yeah. No, Brandon, the games that I think really stand out to me, December 30th, the final day of the challenge, Dover and Bennett. That's my choice of the game to watch right there. One of my choices of the game to watch right there. And also Dover and Decatur. So Dover and Decatur, the two best teams from across Delmarva. It doesn't matter which conference we're really talking about. I think those are the two best squads from across the entire Delmarva area. Decatur stacked Bryson Coleman, David Chandler, Kareem Bolden, Tribe Wise and company against Dover's Darrell Little and Denham Perkins. This game has good coaching, good pedigree. Both teams have won playoff games with this core over the past few years. And above all else, they have a lot of star power.
Yeah, so it should be great. Now, this year, the tournament has listed half a dozen Shore standouts to keep an eye on. So let's talk about those 6 players. We all know these names, beginning with Darrell Little for Dover, 6'4" guard, transferred over from Polytech. Little dropping 22 in their season opener against Caesar Rodney. The Senators are 2-0 so far. They'll play Bennett and Decatur. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We've got Dover going up against the 2 potentially best in the Bayside South. Next is Tyler Ball from Salisbury School. He's listed at 6 feet tall. The guard is uncommitted.
A bucket, too.
But you know what? Whoever gets him is going to get a fantastic player. A lot of college scouts are going to have eyes on him.
Now, Jaden Hudson from Snow Hill, the 5'10" senior guard, has been a difference maker for the Eagles already. Snow Hill being, rising to the top of the cream of the crop right there in the Bayside South. David Chandler for Decatur is also really solid for the Seahawks. Obviously, the Seahawks haven't lost a game going into the Governor's Challenge. Then you got Jace Hudson. He could be a contender for Player of the Year in the Bayside South. 6'3" guard for Bennett, only a junior, has been playing varsity since his freshman year. And then you got Marshall Bailey, just a sophomore, the only sophomore on the list. So he's a name you got to watch out for with Easton. Brandon, these are all guys that when we had our draft for our Bayside fantasy teams, we picked all 6 of these kids were all
basically picked up. Everyone was on that list.
Now we got to put a spotlight on some other standouts, other players that people need to keep their eyes on. Now, for me, I'm taking 2 players from Snow Hill, Tyler Reddick and Keandre Nixon. Both of those young men can put up 20 easy. But especially the new Eagle. You see him on the screen right there making the dish to Tyler Reddick, Keandre Nixon. He can go up for 30. He can put up 35
He's a
in a game.
big-time scorer. We
He's a
saw
huge
that
scorer.
with Pocomo.
Yeah, he's a huge scorer. So this is a great opportunity, not only for the team as a whole for extra attention, but for Reddick and Nixon to get more eyes on them. Obviously, when we talk about Bayside basketball, you know, Jace Hudson is a guy whose name comes up all the time. Bryson Coleman's a guy whose name comes up all the time. David Chandler, Kareem Bolden. But Keandre Nixon and Tyler Reddick are two guys that are just as good as, you know, all those other names who are going to really put on a really good show.
Yeah, and Nixon, I feel like because he was with Pocomo, didn't have anyone around him, didn't hear about him as much. Now he's with Snow Hill, a lot of stars around him.
Yep.
All right, let's move on now. I'm taking Cambridge South Dorchester's LaShawn Moody, the guard who came over from Easton last year. Kid's an amazing scorer, and you're going to watch it right here on your screen. Can drive, can shoot, he can do it all,
Yep.
and it seems like he's at the top of the scorers list basically every single time he goes out there.
Very aggressive.
I also like his teammate down low, Kobe Enels. I'm going to be watching for him out there trying to put on a show. And Dover's Denham Perkins.
Yes.
Because I know that Darrell Little gets a lot of attention over there with Dover, but Denham Perkins is also one of the best scorers out there. And you know what? He might be the best inch-for-inch player on Delmarva,
absolutely,
too, in terms of scoring.
And, you know, especially with the Cambridge kids, obviously Moody and Enos, both of them are big reasons why that Cambridge is undefeated right now. So
definitely.
They're really good.
And now we have a handful of players who will be playing here who are in the top 100 list.
Oh, yeah, we
for
got some
ESPN
national stars
recruits
here coming to the shore.
So you got to get out to Salisbury to see these kids before they turn pro, potentially. Let's start with the top 100 guys for 2024. Hey, the Arizona Compass. Watch out for that team. They are absolutely loaded. Victorious Miller is the 32nd ranked recruit in the nation for this senior class.
Oh, wow. He's great.
So he is coming over with Compass, 6'6" guard who is committed to Oregon. We've got Sammy Yine, who is the 91st overall player on the 2024 list, a 6'8" forward committed to Arizona State.
Yeah, that's some high D1 talent right there that's going to be here.
And we've got a third one coming up.
Yeah, we got another one, Jeremiah Fears, a 6'3" guard, 25 of his class, Arizona Compass, uncommitted, so he hasn't committed to any colleges yet. He's the 22nd overall recruit for the class of 2025. And Cam Ward, a 6'8" guard, class of 2025 from Largo. 6'8" guard. I don't know who's going to be able to stay in front of him with that size as well. He's the 40th ranked 2025 commit. And then you got Chidi Ngwe, 6'6" forward from Benedict St. Prep in New Jersey. He's for the class of 2026, the number 17th ranked player in his class. So you got a lot of high-end talent that's going to be here.
The number 17 ranked sophomore in the nation will be here in Salisbury, so can't wait to watch that. All right, now, Devin, you actually watched some players in the NBA today who played in this tournament.
Absolutely. And maybe the kids that we just listed, maybe one day they can make this list. So you got Bones Highland. He's been in the tournament before when he was with St. George's all the way back in 2018, 5 years ago. Now he's getting buckets with the LA Clippers. Then you got Justin Lewis from Baltimore Poly. He was here in Salisbury back in 2019. Now he's with the Bulls in Chicago. Emmanuel Quickly with the Knicks is an alum of John Carroll in Maryland, graduating in 2017. Obviously, Obi Toppin, he's a high flyer for the Pacers. He was in the Governor's Challenge not too long ago. All those guys making some names and getting some buckets in the NBA. They were also gracing the shore here on Delmarva.
Now, other NBA players who have been in this tournament includes the Bulls' Patrick Williams, who's an up-and-comer. You've got the Nets' Nick Claxton, who I think that he's an underrated player in the paint for the Nets. You've got Sadiq Bey for the Hawks, Jordan Hawkins from the Pelicans, the Heat's Cole Swider. So if you watch enough games coming up next week, you are bound to see a future NBA player on the courts.
Yeah, the DMV and obviously Delaware as well has got a lot of great players in competition that come through here, and obviously that's why the Delmarva, Delmarva is such a great place to host the Governor's Challenge. You got a lot of great players coming through here, and that's obviously some of them are pro-bound.
Now, we want to hear who you think is going to be potentially a pro. Who are you looking forward to seeing coming up next week at the Governor's Challenge? Let us know on our social media pages right now. All right, now let's move on to the girls' side of things. We've got to talk about our favorite matchups on the girls' side as well. I'm going to take Delmarva Christian going up against Parkside. First of all, that matchup features quite a few high-talent girls. First of all, with Delmarva Christian, you've got Journey Handy, who's a 2024 guard. She looks like she has a lot to prove. And then Parkside's got a few different players. One senior, Diamond Dixon, who's a guard. And then you got 2 junior players, Zion Smith and Zion Ogie. Now, the thing about Parkside is last year, you saw them get better and better as the year went on. And I think that this year they're going to be one of the best teams in the Bayside South on the girls' side. And then you got Delmarva Christian, who also has a lot of talent.
And obviously another game is Decatur versus Dover. That's also going to be happening on at UMES as well. Those 2 girls teams are really, really good, and they've been balling for a few years as well. And, we got some other action as well. So you got to make sure that you obviously get to the 47 ABC's website, because we'll have the full list of games that's going to be happening as well. So because we don't, there's so many games that we don't even have time to talk about all the different highlights and games that are going to be happening on the shore.
And you know what? We've got a lot more Governor's Challenge coverage coming up in the next block. That'll do it for the A block. We're calling our first time out. When we return, we're talking more about the tournament. What's new this year? We sat down with the man at the helm, James Simmons. That's coming up next on Delmarva Sports Insider.